let's do this. We are working on auto exposure of the background camera, and we are reading this thing into auto exposure. Oh wait, no. Let's add the auto exposure over here. So the last problem I was solving is that we need to read the render texture pixels. Read pixels of render texture. This will copy a rectangular pixel array from the current reactive render texture or the view. All right. You know what? I'm thinking that, right, yeah, auto exposure will do this. Basically, we are setting this texture to active. Now we have to do temp texture read pixels. We have to pass the dimensions of what we're reading. Okay, from 0. Actually, let's put this rec here. So we don't have to recreate it over and over. I think the size will be texture width, or maybe no. All right, and we could use this width and height here as well. So now we read pixels from this rect. Destination will be 0, 0. Recalculate mip maps. We don't use mip maps in that one. So that's how we grab the pixels. That we can get the pixel array. So we temporarily activate the texture, we read the pixels, and we reactivate the previous one. That doesn't look very fun, to be honest, but whatever. We'll have to end up logging HSL on each frame. So we will see how HSL changes over time. Of course, it doesn't work. No reference, PG camera. All right, I didn't wire this up. I had to do this. And I believe that. All right. That's going to be enough for now. All right, so we get the HSL. Now you can see luminosity is very dark, 003. But let's fast forward and let's wait for a bright patch, and we'll see how the last number here will grow as we get into the brighter area. Now you see it's a little higher, 003, because we have a bright spot over here. 02. Basically, we have to target some specific luminosity. Now you see 04, it's getting brighter, 05. So far this works pretty well. And if we jump to profiler, I don't see any lag or anything here. So it's also pretty fast. Right, but we haven't reached the bright spot yet. Although we could simply go to debug, or not to debug, to materials. We could take the background here, and our brightness is 4. Let's bump it up. And as we bump it up, we can see that this last number changes. Now it's 02, 01. We want to find a value that is going to be too bright. So far it's not too bright. But now we're coming to a 03, 036, 38. Yeah, so I think so far the concept was 06, 07, 08, 09. That's the thing. Now we're at 001. So basically at this point we should automatically drag this down to make this slower. Right, so we are ready. We are ready. What are we going to do in this auto exposure shader? Not shader, auto exposure script. We are going to set the average color we're going to do shader, set global float, and we're going to set a average luminosity. It's going to be hsl.l. We don't care about hue or saturation here. We just care about the average luminosity. So what can we do with this, with average luminosity? We can go into our background shader, and we will add we'll add a variable here. It's going to be uniform float average luminosity, right? Wait, no, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we are going to do. We are going to have a serialized field here with private material auto exposure, maybe target. Yeah, so instead of setting this global shader variable, we're also going to have something like serialized field private float target luminosity, or maybe min luminosity and max. You could use a vector too and say luminosity range. Yeah, because we will have a range. Like if we go below some particular value, we're going to brighten it. If we go above some particular value, we're going to darken it. Then we will need maybe a serialized field, private float, speed, with how fast are we going to readjust the brightness. Then we're going to use serialized field private string brightness property name, and this will be called target material, or maybe just material. So let's add a small comment here. This script, it's, hey Miami, what's up? We are going to read pixels of the render texture to find the average HSL color and adjust the brightness property name on material until to target the average luminosity to be in luminosity range. We are using IT exam. Oh, I think you're going to nail it. I'm sure you're going to nail it. How hard can it be? Like the speed to determine how fast auto exposure should readjust itself. Yeah, I remember my IT exam, it was like funny. It's funny. It's especially funny that some people find it hard. Yeah, that could be it. Because those who are writing the questions most likely know less about computers than you do. So you have to sort of put yourself in their minds and decipher what they meant. Alright, so how do we do that? We're going to sample brightness from the material. So we're going to do material get property material shader. So we should probably cache the shader because private shader background. How do we do this here? We do have the material background, and we do set float. We could probably do just get float here. Okay, good luck, man. See you in 4 hours. Fingers crossed you'll nail this exam. Okay, if luminosity Corona, I'm under attack. If luminosity is less than luminosity range X or luminosity more than luminosity range Y, auto exposure, current brightness is going to be get float brightness property name. So now we have to sort of okay. We need to know if we are below or above. So let's do below and above. So if below or above, actually no, if below or above, if below, check again. Material set float brightness property name, and the value is going to be brightness plus equals time delta time multiplied by speed. You know what, I think we can make this easier. We can do var adjustment equals below -1, otherwise 1. No, if below we're going upwards, if above we're going downwards. So then we do this and multiply this by adjustment. Yeah. Oh my god, this could work. This could really work. You can see how this could work. So now we open the background camera. Material is going to be this background here. Brightness property name is going to be brightness, I believe. No. The name is simply brightness. Luminosity range, let's make it from 0.2 to 0.3. No, from 0.0. No, so from 0.1 to 0.3. Let's see. Speed, let's do 1 to begin with. And maybe we can, yeah, I think that's enough. That's enough. Now let's run this baby and see what happens. Oh, I see the stars getting brighter. Oh my god, it works. And I can see the brightness being adjusted. Oh my freaking god. Oh my freaking god, it works. The brightness is going up. The brightness is going up. Now it should stay or go down. Oh my god, this is so amazing. This is so amazing. Brightness is going up. Guess we are still in range. Brightness is going up again because we are in the dark spot. Auto exposure. Oh, so awesome. I don't see it going down though. I only see it going up. I sort of don't like that. Don't like that it never goes down. Oh, now we're in the bright spot. We are in the bright spot. Now it's going to get too bright. Now it's going down. It's going down. It's working. It's working. It's working, folks. It's working now. We are in the very bright area and it should go down, way down, way down. But it's going down way too slow. It has to go down way faster. So maybe we should adjust the speed. The speed has to be, I don't know how much faster. Let's make it, I don't know, 50. And I'm going to set this from 0.2 to 0.15. Let's go. Brightness is 3, 4, 7. Can't believe that it works. I just cannot believe that it really works. Brightness went up to 11, 12. So as we go into the darker areas of the space, it's quickly readjusting itself. This is going to be a fantastic change. Although I will try one more technique that could improve the performance a little bit. Although the performance should be fine, should be just fine. And let's see if we are doing garbage and where are we doing the garbage. Auto exposure update is doing some garbage. I don't like that. Where's that garbage coming from? Auto exposure update. Oh my god, I think reading the pixels might be doing that. Yeah, I guess that reading pixels is doing the garbage. And we can now see, still we're approaching a very light patch, and we can see how it darkens itself really quickly. But now it's a little too fast, I guess. It sort of cuts it way too fast. It cuts it way too fast. Guess there could be a sweet spot between speed and maybe 5 will be better. Alright, unity get average color of render texture. So yeah, we could do this in the shader. We could do this in the shader. And I think it could be more efficient. So let's commit. This is the initial. This is going to be the initial, but wait. Can we set the property inside the shader? Okay. It looks like we could try to move this. We could move this somewhere. So let's see. I don't like that read pixels produces garbage. Team texture, read pixels, garbage. Garbage free texture d don't get pixels. Hi GC calls here. Graphics copy texture. Let's see, that's interesting. Will it multi-tap? Copy texture. Yeah, how about trying this way? Copy texture. We pass in source as the texture, target temp texture. How is that going to work? Also, we will reduce the size of the sampled render texture. Oh. Seems like it's still working. But is it? It's getting brighter and brighter. It's getting brighter and brighter. And it looks like we're still allocating garbage on every frame. 4 kilobytes per frame, so it's not working properly. I guess we could maybe sample the average brightness less frequently, maybe every 5 seconds, and then try to find a value that would work. Now we can see that garbage collection kicked in over here. Why is it still getting brighter? I don't get it. What the fuck? Background brightness -217. Oh my god, yeah. I think I should clamp the brightness. So maybe let's do max. No. Let's do a vector 2 with brightness range, right? And then we will do if brightness let's set this brightness to the adjustment and then we're going to do brightness clamp brightness brightness range X, brightness range Y. Okay, so I will clamp the brightness and it will not go below the expected value. So let's say that in BG camera we will clamp this to from 0.01 to maybe 50. And let's do this. So yeah, auto exposure is doing 4 kilobytes of garbage per frame, which is very unfortunate. And also it's eating some CPU. Read back image. 31 milliseconds. That's too expensive. We need a cheaper way. We need a cheaper way. You know what? I think I got a cheaper way. So we're going to mess with the shader here. So instead of putting the rendered texture, instead of reading the pixel from rendered texture, we're going to set this rendered texture as a global texture, and then we're going to wait. Can we set a property in the shader? Set property from shader itself. Accessing shader properties. Are they read-only or are they... Hey Jacob. Yeah, I know. Shaders are executed on GPU, but the question is if during the execution I can do something like, I don't know, brightness equals something, and will it change the value for the next pixel, and for like, will it persist the value? Because I do have the working auto exposure right now, but the problem is that it generates some garbage. And the garbage comes from render texture, because we read the pixels of the render texture on every frame. Right, it's using a high parallelism for this. So yeah, I guess we cannot set the property from the shader. So I need to find a way to read the texture, to read the render texture without producing garbage, because I really don't want to do update loop with garbage. Thing is, I want to have auto exposure in my background. So for example, you remember this background here? Sometimes it gets very bright, and we can actually make this happen faster. So let's put this at 50. And what I have is, you see the slider is going down automatically right now. It's because this auto exposure script is sampling the whole image, getting the average color, getting the luminosity from it, and it wants to have the luminosity within some range. So right now it decreased it a little further, and if it gets dark, it will make it brighter. So the space will always be within some luminosity range, and it will not get too bright or too dark, because it used to get too bright or too dark at some points. But again, thing is that I need to update the brightness not for each pixel individually, because it would look lame. I want the whole brightness for the whole background to be adjusted at once, and that's the only way I figured it could be done was from C#, from the outside. So basically C# is tweaking that value. We have to produce high brightness for some pixels, because you see right here, these pixels are super bright, and that's fine. If I would decrease the amount of maximum brightness for those, it would look bad. I already had that. I did that a while ago when I was trying to find a nice way to limit the total brightness of the picture, and it didn't work well. We need some very bright spots for those stars. Otherwise it looks bad, but we don't want to produce too many bright spots. So for example, sometimes when something is close to the screen, it gets very bright, and it takes too much. Yeah, I'm sure it may be the case that it's possible to end up with something like that through the shader, but I just don't know how. Well, there is one way. Basically, the shader itself should know the whole average color. And okay, let's make another attempt here. The camera image effect here copies the whole picture into a scaled version. I did that last week. It copies this to this background auto exposure texture. And I could set this background auto exposure texture as a shader texture, as a global shader texture, and I could sample it from the shader itself. And then I could grab the luminosity from that. But then the only problem here is that I would have to have a formula which tells what brightness level should be for given luminosity. And it's not going to work like the exposure on the photo camera. I'm not going to use post-processing pack. I used it already in Bloody Rally Show, and I threw it away because it's garbage. Literally, it produces so many garbage, and it's really It's not efficient. Like what they are doing on every single frame, they are reading all the properties of all the effects. And then I think they're reading and writing them. There was some GitHub issue about that. Well, I'm not going to search for it right now. So one thing I could do to reduce the garbage here, I could adjust this texture to be just 1 by 1. So if it's going to be 1 by 1, it will still have the average color. Just not sure how accurate it's going to be, but it's going to like have an array of 1. Yeah, it's now allocating 88 bytes per frame. And we could also make it happen like every 10 frames instead of every frame. So yeah, so it's not that bad actually. I think 88 bytes every frame, not too bad. Though I don't like that it eats some CPU as well, because graphics read back image, for some reason it's eating 2.3%. I personally like background in this game. Yeah, it looks nice. But it's like, it's an artistic background, they drew it, I guess, and they are having several layers move independently. Though I just wanted to have one shader to do all the background for all the game. So I can just do it once and forget it and not make any art, and it's just, it just sort of works. I don't know, I think I'll keep it like this for now. Now there's one more place where we have to fix that. It's in the intro scene, and in the intro scene it used to be very bright very quickly. So where is our main menu? Here we have some overrides. There's the intro background script. This script is adjusting some parameters automatically, and it's doing the brightness adjustment. And so I'm going to do this anymore because we are stealing that. We're stealing that. And here we have to override this background into that. Alright. Also, we will set the brightness range from much higher. We want this to be much brighter, so maybe 0.2. No, not here, but here, 0.2, and the maximum is going to be maybe even 0.6, something quite bright. Let's take a look. And if we tweak this, maybe let's try from 0.5 to 0.8, you'll see it will be much brighter now. Now let's reduce this from 0.1 to 0.2. It will go down. Is it going down? I think it is. Yeah, it's going down. So that's how it works. We can make this faster to see the effect quicker. So if we do this, now it's going to be very dark. See, it's trying to go darker. But we need to get a nice range here. Maybe from point 15 to point 15 might be too bright. 0.05 to 0.3, and speed is going to be 5. What about this? That's the same shader like in here, actually. One of those, because these shaders are... The StarNet shader is copied and modified 1,000,000 times. So a lot of people have various different versions of it, and I have my own version here. So yeah, well, if you run this shader for a long time, you will come to those bright spots as well. So at some point you would get a bigger bright spot going through the screen, I think. It's just a matter of time. So that's what I'm trying to address here, because when the screen gets fully bright, it's not looking good. And I think that actually 0.3 is too much. Let's maybe turn this down to 0.1, and let's turn this down to 0.01. And this could be 0 here. Well, maybe 0.1 is not that much. 0.2. Right, so now this can be pretty dark, and sometimes it will get a little brighter, but then it will go back. Okay, I think I need to copy the parameters here and paste like that. All right. I guess that's going to be enough for now. It produces a tiny bit of garbage, but if I would just find a way to read texture pixel, even 1 pixel would be enough, because I have a texture of 1 by 1. So read texture pixel. Okay. Oh, there is get pixel. Amazing. That's it. That's what I need. I think this might not produce garbage. So let's go to auto exposure, and let's say that this texture here, this has to be 1 by 1. So basically, the averaging is going to happen inside graphics blit, because graphics will blit the texture into 1 by 1 pixel texture. So then we just, instead of doing get pixels, we're going to do get pixel, right? 0, 0, and that's all we need. Actually, we can get rid of all this. We have this pixel here. Yeah, and I believe that, well, this code is definitely going to be much less expensive than getting the whole pixel array, because we don't need to allocate an array at all. So yeah, this shader you showed, it's the exactly same fractal. The same fractal is used, and I borrowed some of the code from that shader. So, and sure enough, no garbage. Woo, no garbage. Amazing. Where's the auto exposure script? It still does this GFX read back. which takes a little tiny fraction of the time, but there's no garbage. Amazing. That's it. That's it. All right, I will consider auto exposure as done. And now we're going to do something with audio. I didn't have a task for auto exposure. Oh well. That's fine. So, during the weekend, I created a sample with Starship noise. Almost what we hear in the background right now. I'm playing this YouTube video with Starship sleeping quarters, white noise with deep bass, 10 hours. So we will turn this off. And we're going to use our own Starship noise, which sounds like this. Maybe it's not as deep as the one we have there, but I want this noise to sound in the background when we see the ship. So if there is a ship, when we start a new game, when we have no ship, there will be no noise, but when we have a ship, we could maybe measure the distance to the engine and also the camera zoom and make this noise louder as we are closer to the engine. Because yeah, if engines will be turned off, I guess this noise would not happen. Also, a friend of mine said something that made me think. He said, like, in space you don't need to run engines all the time because otherwise you are accelerating. Like, if engine is running, you have to be always accelerating. So this made me think, and I don't know what to do actually. We could have like engines turned off most of the time unless we want to speed up or slow down. But if we want to slow down, we have to put engines on the other side, so we could do the reverse thrust. We could have engines on the sides to do the adjustment and so on. But on the other hand, this is not a space simulator. So I guess we could simplify. Basically, we would need these engines to just be able to move. So let's say we will have them pointing to one direction, and all we need, like, if the engines are there, we can change something. If the engines are not there and we are stationary, we will not be able to move. So basically, if some asteroid is coming towards us and the engines are dead, if we are in the impact zone, we will have to either fix the engines in time or we will get the impact. Or if we want to maybe jump to some new sector, like in FTL, we could also like use this. Like if engines don't work, you cannot jump. You're stuck. Oh. All right. Somehow managed to catch a cold in the middle of summer. So, sounds. Let's create a folder. For the sounds. And let's move in the starship noise. I guess I'll move the OGG version. Let's see if it loops cleanly. It has to loop cleanly without clicks. Yeah, it does. Amazing. Ambisonic. What is ambisonic? Special technique, capture. No, it's not ambisonic actually. Could it be compressed in memory? Decompress and load. Quality. We could. Original. Yeah, no difference here. Preserve sample rate. I think I would like to keep this noise a little higher quality. Because you may hear some difference if you use good headphones. Alright. This will do just fine. This will do just fine. So now we want to use this. We want to use this noise. In game. So how do we architecture this? Because we need to not to just slap a script and make it play sounds, but we need some architecture for all the audio in the game. And also there are some things that some solutions for Unity audio management. Fmod, Wwise. We need to find a way to like play clips, play loops, because like different devices might emit some different sounds, and there will be like a background sound for the whole space and things like that. So let's say we have a ship, right? So there's the ship. It has engines. It has some rooms where we have maybe a generator. We have maybe a bunch of people in the kitchen eating stuff. So like in Prison Architect, if you would zoom into a kitchen, you would hear like kitchen noise. Hey Jamalive, what's up? But what I don't like about Prison Architect, that this noise comes from the kitchen even if the kitchen is empty. So like you zoom into an empty kitchen and you hear like some ambient sounds from the kitchen. I don't like that. In this game, if kitchen is empty, we will not hear any sounds. But then again, how do we determine what background sound to play? And I think there could be multiple background sounds. So let's say we have engine, which will produce its own noise. We have maybe a generator, which produces its own noise. And if the camera is somewhere in here, we should hear both engine and the generator, so they should mix. Then, yeah, okay, how many sounds can we play at once, and are we going to like have a... We cannot have a game object for each... We don't want to have a game object for each sound source. So basically, if we have a huge ship, there would be thousands of those sound sources. So maybe we could just say we could use the camera. We could use the camera to grab the area that we have in the game. And basically we could query this area for sound sources. Another option is that each of those things here would have a distance to the camera, including the height. So there would be like a C# script, a component on the entity that would like produce background sound, and that component would be aware of the camera position and zoom, so it would be able to calculate the distance. And if the distance is within range, we could then send a signal that component is within range, and this component would contain the information about the clip that has to be played. So there would be some class, some game object that would subscribe to those calls, and it would say, all right, I have like 3 slots for background sounds, and currently I have like 5 candidates for the background ambient noise, and I will sort them by their volume and pick the top 3, and I will put them here and mix them according to those volumes, and I will discard the rest. So basically we would have a competing sound sources that want to play at the same time. And with this framework, we could also have the background music playing like several loops. Maybe one loop would be main background loop. Then we would have some like intense overlay where when something bad happens, like a fire or something else, and we could say if there's a fire event, we could like send a signal that something bad has happened, and then this audio player would catch the signal and start increasing the volume on the intense loop, and then we would start hearing intensity. Hey Amer Hassam, how's it going? Alright, so let's start with the script that would be doing all this. Unfortunately, this will have to be a mono behavior. Or should it? I think it's not even necessary to have a mono behavior for this. What am I doing today? I did an auto exposure for the background, so it changes color automatically. Like if we have, see, this brightness slider is moving on its own. If we make it too bright, it will go down on its own. So basically it will try to keep the space of the same color, of the same brightness. And the other thing that we're going to do is to make this noise loop play, so we will feel like we're in space. Starship noise. Alright, so I was like thinking of how we could structure the audio playback. We could structure the audio playback so it would be decoupled from all the audio sources, and it would know like where the camera is. Now I'm thinking maybe the audio sources could just register themselves. So let's say we have a bunch of objects, a bunch of entities that have audio source component, and then there would be some system that all those entities register with. All those components will register with that system. And then on every frame, like the system could loop through these components and get the distance between them and the camera, so it will know where the camera is. It will calculate that distance, so then the system itself will be able to run independently, and those components will have no knowledge about the camera. They only have like the information about what clip has to be played. Is it looping or not? I think there will be multiple components for looping clips and one shots. Yeah, let's have a component. Let's start with the component. So we will do game components. We'll create we have a light source component, so let's create a background audio source, or just audio source component. Yeah, let's do audio source component. We'll need onConfig. OnReady. I don't know. Maybe on ready we're going to register it. On remove we're going to deregister it. These are not necessary. It's not going to be a tick listener. All right. That's about it. That's about it. We have this audio source component. And I guess that for now we're just going to print audio source, and we will make the string print something meaningful when we are ready. So what will this audio source component have? I guess we will need some registry for audio clips. So as we load the mods, yeah, we will need some external. We'll need to keep the audio externally because I want the audio to be moddable. So we cannot just slap the clip into sounds folder. We have to try to make this loadable as a mod and have it in our definition somewhere. Right, so actually the task escalated quickly. Instead of ship background noise, we are going to do audio system. It escalated quickly. So first of all, I need to find out if it's possible to load audio from streaming assets. Oh, so we can get the audio clip from a request. Yeah, that's great. It's possible. Yeah, we will get the clips from all the stuff that we have in our streaming assets. So basically, let's restructure this a little. I do have assets, sounds. So this sounds folder is going to be removed from the assets and it's going to be placed in streaming assets mods core. Wait, what? Open, oh man. Yeah, I think I opened it with that. Let's try once again. Assets, sounds, cut. So right, we will have, what? Again, folder news. Seriously. I think Unity might be using it. Just not sure where and how. Right, let's just copy then. Yeah, it's not allowing us to touch it. So let's go ahead and copy this to mods core, and let's create a sounds folder. Maybe audio. Yeah, because we could place the music here. No, sounds. Sounds will be fine. And how about creating a background? And let's have like engine noise. Yeah, let's have an engine noise. Great. Now we have to be able to read that. So we need to open up our mod loader. And as we load graphics here, we also are going to do load sounds. Basically, we are going to grab MP3 or OGG files. This will be sounds path. Then we loop through all those directories. Path, sounds path there. And then we will load audio clip async path and clip. And I think we will have, like we have a rendering service, we could have a sound service that would be decoupled from anything else. Should it be decoupled, or should we have like the dot sounds? Static rendering service has sprites, shaders, and materials and meshes. Let's think. Little by little. Let's do it step by step. Let's do debug log, loading clip. So first let's implement this load audio clip async. And we're going to copy load texture sync and do almost the same as we do there. So Unity web request. What's Unity web request texture? Unity web request multimedia. I think that's going to be get audio clip. Awesome. How convenient. URL and audio type dot. Oh, we need to know the audio type. Can we infer it? Can this thing guess the type? I don't think so. So basically, resolve audio type from URL. I have no idea why Unity couldn't do that on their own. So if URL ends with MP3, turn audio type MPEG. If URL ends with OGG, return audio type OGG Wobris. If it's a WAV, although we don't allow WAV yet, but we can add it here. And it should have some default. Unknown. How about that? Should we allow WAV files? Let's allow WAV files in the mods. All right, so so we list those directories, we grab audio clips, and we have to put them somewhere. But first, let's see if we get this loading clip. Let's make this an error for testing purposes. Specified cast is not valid. Oh, of course, load audio clip. So we get this send web request, and then we have to do download handler audio clip dot audio clip. And we do onload clip. Onload has to be action audio clip. 1000 FPS. That's a good start because it gives you room to do stuff and to kill that FPS. Where did you see that though? It's not 1000, it's only 300. Please include 144 FPS logs. Some games don't have that. I think I have it. Don't I have it already? Let's see. Maybe not. No, I don't have it yet. But I guess that I'm doing this in the Bootstrap by default. I'm setting target frame rate to 60. No, I'm setting to max from refresh rate of the current resolution and fixed in 60. So you will have on a 144 monitor, you'll have 144 by default. It's not configurable yet, but I'm going to make a drop down here where you can choose how much you want. Yeah, if you're talking about unlimited FPS, so that's definitely not going to be a default because it just burns your electricity and burns your graphics card for no reason. Alright, so let's do new game. Oh, it's crashing. It's still crashing. Yeah, let's clear this and start again. Are we getting loading clip? Perfect. We're getting our clip. We are getting our clip. What's happening here? Mod loader 63. No, that's not it. Tool free select. Why are these errors are coming from somewhere? What did I do? What did I just do to break it? Clock stopped. Tool free select. Alright, so we don't have a game state. Why don't we have a game state? I think it's tool free select doing some bullshit. Tool free select. On click down. Yeah, right. If the state is loaded, if it's not loaded, let's try to just ignore this. Of course, the state could be null, but I think that when we start the scene, it should create a new game. We have a grid here. Alright, I think those errors went away. Yeah. The errors went away. Inner wall again, stage 70, fill wall gaps. Bad missing wall combo. Let's add more information here. What is that combo? North, east, south, west, northeast, northwest, southeast. I would kill myself if I made a game in 3D with tiles, so like voxels. I would have to go like 27, I think, directions instead of 8. Oh man, and I'm off by 1. Shit. So this is going to be 8 then. North, east, southwest, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. And we have to pass north. Has north, has east, has south, has west, has northeast, has northwest, has southeast, has southwest. Whoa. That's a lot of variables here. Let's do just string format. It's a little out, but whatever. No, I cannot do that. My OCD kicks in. All right. All right, loading clip. We do have a clip, but we don't do anything with it. Oh, nice engines. Bad missing wall combo. North, it has a neighbor on the east and nothing else. The position is 185, 107. 185, 107. Where do we have that position? You know what? I want to see the position of the mouse cursor. I used to show it here. And then I suddenly decided that it's not worth it. Let's do this again. Debug info text. Although I believe that I was not doing this because it was too expensive to recalculate. Yeah, it was too expensive to recalculate. So maybe we could have a tiny little panel somewhere showing the position. Let's do it. As always, I'm procrastinating. Instead of working on the task directly, I'm getting derailed by some little things. So we have debug info panel, and we have the canvas here. So we are going to create this little panel somewhere, maybe below the speed controls. We are going to show the position of the cursor here. So let's use this. In fact, I'm thinking that speed buttons, the panel here, could have a different background. What if we make it look... Oh, it also uses some weird color here. It's way oversaturated. Okay, let's keep it for now. But instead of this UI sprite, how about switch to that one? Rounded panel, nope. Yeah, let's switch to that one. And this panel here, we'll copy the color from that. Source image is not going to be button. Oh wait, it is button. Button, color. Why do these look different? Is it because each button has its own background somewhere? No, I don't think so. Anyway, just going to make this into cursor position or cursor info. And let's create a text mesh pro text here. We are going to center it. And it's going to tell us something like that. That will be the coordinates under the mouse cursor. I think the font could be a little lower, like that. And that's going to be enough for now. Are we using, yeah. The font is okay. We don't need anything else here. And we'll create this, we'll turn this into a prefab. Now we can work with this prefab alone, and we are going to add a little class. Let's open debug info text. We can actually, oh, let's have a new file. I don't want to copy it. So let's call this, how do we name it? Cursor info. Cursor info text. So we are going to have a serialized field private text. So allow it to compile. And on update, actually, this should be the job of user input class. User input will do something with this. Handle active tool, handle tool, mouse position. We have the mouse position here. Are we getting this? No, it's a vector free. On hover, we pass the vector. Then we sort of convert this vector. You know what? I think that we could get the mouse position, because the mouse position is just, we could get this directly in our debug class. So cursor info text is going to do the bindings mouse world position, right? If not, the game is initialized or not, the state is loaded, return. Then we get the world position, right? And then we do entity utils to pause, and we pass the world position. So that's how we get the pause. And we need to show this in text. I think that could be it. But just, it's not X, it's colon here. Okay, we only want to add one little thing. When we initialize this, we're going to set a blank text, so we will rewrite that preview that we have and the prefab. There we go. So now when we generate a new ship and we get those errors about walls being incorrect, so now we see 251, 144, so we can easily find 251, 144, 251, 144. No, it's not as easy as I thought. Still easier. There we go. 251, 144. That's the wall piece. And this wall piece apparently had incorrect configuration. North false, east true, west false. It's a lie. It has a neighbor in the west. That is the neighbor in the west. Oh wait, no. 251. Yeah, it is. It's the neighbor in the west here. So what are you talking about? Yeah. It's not good. It's not good. Let's double check our game utils. Has north. West. It looks like we might be checking the neighbors too early. North, south, east, west. Is north, south, east, west. Northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. Northeast, northwest. Oh, what if we also do missing walls contains northeast and so on? I'll be back to the, I'll see that auto exposure working. I'll be back to audio very soon. Just need to see those errors reduced. You know what? I don't care about those errors. Actually, let's make it a warning because it's no big deal. And let's get back to the audio. So the audio is actually being loaded, but not handled. We have the mod loader load sounds, and when we load a clip, we need to store it somewhere, and we have a few options here. For example, there is a rendering service, and we load stuff into the sprites here, right? So we could have a sound service and have audio clips, just like with rendering service. Let's see. The sound service would what is using the rendering service? Mod loader. Right, so we're doing rendering service, sprites, try find. We have sprites class, okay, which has a dictionary of these guys. You know what, we will have something similar to sprites. We'll have audio clips. And let's create some utilities right away. So we'll have audio, and we'll have audio clips. So again, each clip will be will have a key, an ID, that will be a string. And we'll have a find, try find, and contains, similar to what we have in the sprites class. It's a little bit of duplication. We could maybe have a base class for with a generic type that both sprites and audio clips would inherit, but I don't think so. It's just a few methods. So it would be an overkill to try to optimize this. To reduce the duplication where it's almost none. Okay, so we have this audio clips class, That's going to be our registry. Now, do we want to have something like rendering service? What's the point of it? I feel that we should probably get rid of this rendering service completely. All it does is just creates light texture. It can be, where is it doing that? Yeah, it can be moved into util. I don't think we need the rendering service. In fact, the rendering service itself might be part of the game, and it could have like, it could have a reference on the class. So I'm not going to refactor it right now. I'm just going to write refactor this away. We don't need this class at all. Also, it's static, so it's bad by definition. And instead of making something like that for audio, we're going to have in the game, we will create audio namespace and a new file, call this, how do we call this? Let's call this sound. It will have a public audio clips. I'm not sure why public though. And in the class, we are going to, like we have these definitions, for example, we're going to have public static sounds. Now the mod loader, when we load the sound here, when we read the clip, the mod loader is going to do the sounds, add, or maybe set. Path is going to be the ID. Is it? And the clip is going to be the clip. Okay, so what is the path? Let's print it. Let's print the path just so we know what's in there. If clips contains clip ID, we're going to log a warning that we are replacing a clip No, actually, let's log this outside of that. We are going to just return a bool if we written a new clip or replaced an old one. So if we written something, if we have written a brand new clip, we will not log anything, but if we overwrote something, we will log that fact, and we will log the mod name which done this. So if sound set, if not sound set, we're going to warn that replacing a audio clip, and we will print the mod name. Info name. Great. Now I forgot to add the method in the audio clips to actually set something. How do we do it in the sprites? It's a bit, oh, it's add to atlas, all right. It's a little different with the sprites because we build them in an atlas, and with audio clips it's not going to be anything like that. So let's just have a public bool set string clip ID and audio clip. So we'll do clips put is my magic method that overrides or sets a new key on a dictionary. And if we retrieve something from this put, if it's not null, it means that we have overwritten a clip. Why not return the audio clip that we overwritten? Or maybe not. Let's just say returns true if we overwrote. No. If we did not overwrite anything. Returns true if we did not overwrite anything. So here in the sounds class, then I can just do return clips set clip ID clip. Okay, now I have to invert this. No, I don't. Yeah, if it returns false, then we overwritten something and then we will warn. And that's it. So now we have those clips. We have those clips in the dictionary here. We can find them, we can get them, and so on. Now the sounds class should know how to play them. Sounds class is going to be responsible for playing the clips. Now it needs an audio source. We need an audio source to play something. No, actually playing is not going to be the responsibility of the sounds class. Sounds class is just going to... You know what? I don't even think that we need the sounds class at all. We don't need sounds class. We're going to directly use the audio clips because it's like a pass through here right now. So we will have this audio clips sounds, new audio clips. But this is just the sounds, like this is just the raw sounds. It's not how we play them. It's just the storage. Just the storage where we put what we load from the mods. And for the actual mixing, we'll have a separate system that is going to use those sounds. Yeah, it's going to use those sounds. And we will need a component that is this audio source component. It will have to provide the data for that mixer. Yeah, so the architecture is going to be something like that. We'll have a mod loader reading stuff into the sounds, into the dot sounds. Clips go here. Then we will have audio source component that tells the ID. It will have like ID and other like volume and other data that the mixer will use. Then we'll have this mixer that will know about our camera. So it will take the position of the camera and zoom. It will know about the sounds. And it will have all these audio sources. So the mixer will be a mono behavior. It will have an update loop. It will check the distance between each audio source component and the camera. The audio source component will have some state, like, is it playing right now? At what volume is it playing? And so on. And the mixer will have some slots for those clips. It will be able to play several of them at once, and it will be mixing the volumes and whatever. Yeah, so we do have this part, we do have this part, we do not have this part, only the class. We do have the camera, of course, and we don't have the mixer. So now we have to build the mixer. So let's rename this to mixer. Audio mixer. Will it clash with some Unity name? reason there's no audio mixer class, so let's name this audio mixer or sound mixer. I like sound mixer more. It sounds better. Sound mixer. And it is going to be a mono behavior, because it will need audio source to play those clips. And actually sound mixer is going to be mounted directly on the camera. It will have to be mounted directly on the camera. It will need actually, let's just have private audio source, audio source. Now, are we going to do this with mixer groups, with effects and so on? Let me think. We will want to have volume controls. So we want to actually have types of sounds that we are playing. Maybe we'll have, yeah, let's try to define those. There's the audio mixer here. So we will have like a main mixer, right? And this main mixer will have groups. Master mixer has to be here. Oh, what are these snapshots? I never used them. So under the master mixer, we're going to have some types of audio. So maybe the music, and then ambience. Ambience is going to be those ship sounds that we're going to play, the engine noise. Why is it not playing? Hey. Why is it not playing? Oh, whatever. Whatever. Okay, so ambience, music, and sound effects, right? Just to begin with. Sound effects. Sound FX. Let's do the FX like that. All right, and we will have to expose some parameters here so we can control them from code. Just don't remember how do we expose that. Hey, Kaiden Master, thank you so much for the follow. Destination feeder. I forgot how to expose the parameters. Oh, I think it has to be done through here. Somewhere here. Expose volume, yeah. Expose volume. rename to volume. I think it has to contain the group name, so master volume. Then we'll have music. Also, we need to expose the volume here. Rename volume music. Volume ambience. And volume of sound effects. Then we could have some effects here. Maybe, for example, on the master, we could have an effect, something like high pass filter. So if we play a sound, we could do, like after an explosion, we could cut the frequency down, so you're like, it will seem like you're having your ears damaged for a while. Like now if we play the starship noise, and if we cut that, let's make it loop, and we go to master. Oh wait, I want to play that, so maybe we need to open one more inspector. We have one here. Let's open that sound and let's lock it so it's always going to play. Right here. Alright, we will lock this one. Now we open up master mixer and we can do this. Why doesn't it work? Oh, I know why it doesn't work, because we are not running the sound through the mixer. Yeah, we're just previewing it. So we'll have to run all the sounds through the mixer. And also I think that we might want to separate music from the ambience, because if we get an explosion and we cut off the high frequencies, we might not want to cut off the music. We might just want to cut off the ambient and sound effects, but we will see that. We'll see about that. For now, let's maybe go with simple music, ambient, sound effects. Master music, ambient, sound effects. What else do we want to configure? Maybe the UI sounds, like blips and clicks of the menu. Let's add a group for that. Menu. Or UI. Okay, UI will be fine. So unlock this one, hide this one, and we are going to expose volume UI. Great. Now let's go to our sound mixer class, and we'll have private mixer group we'll see if sound mixer is clashing with Unity audio. I think it should not. But audio mixer was taken, so that's why sound mixer is a good name. Audio mixer was taken by Unity, and we'll have mixer group. Actually, are we going to put this in array, or are we going to have every group individually? I think we're going to put this in an array. So we'll have mixer groups. It's going to be serialized field. And we will have a string array with mixer group names. So we can serialize this and then we can somehow mix things up a little bit. Now there is one problem with that. We might not be able to put this under the camera, because thing is that we have to keep the music in the loading screen, and we have to keep the music in the main menu. So we cannot just slap this audio mixer inside our game camera, because game camera doesn't exist in the main menu. And this music class, this sound mixer, should probably be an object that is do not destroy on load. But we have this root, and we don't have any do not destroy objects at all. So that's going to be an interesting challenge, how to structure things. And can we maybe play the main menu music somehow differently? Let's go to main menu and thing. So since we're at it, I'm going to put the soundtrack, like the first track from the soundtrack. Let's try to delete this one. It's still, for some reason, this clip is locked. I don't know why. Or are we going to crash Unity? 4 days since last crash. Are we going to crash? Oh my god. I'm so excited to crash Unity once again. Yeah, it's not responding. Ba-ba-bum. 0 days again. Record was 4. Or maybe 5, but just because I don't work on weekends. So I do have some music composed for the game. Let's pick one of those, or maybe let's just put all the music in there. Let's put all the music in there. Why not go to our Gamedev, assets, sounds. Right, we can just get rid of sounds. Still, something seems to be open. Oh my god. It's pissing me off. I'll have to reboot at some point. I'll create a new folder, call it music, or OST maybe. Let's call this OST. And I will put some MP3s in there. Yeah, I want to start playing the soundtrack that I have. Looks like my VLC might be stuck. Where do I have my VLC? I don't hear anything. VLC exe and process. Okay. Oh shit, I accidentally opened Ableton. Now we have to wait for 10 minutes. La la. So while it's being loaded, let's go to sound mixer and think, what can we do here? We'll have these mixer groups and we have mixer group names. We do need to somehow make this survive. Or you know what? We could actually kill the music at the end of loading. So while the game is loading, we could play some music. In the end, we could fade it out. And then we could like start the new instance of the sound mixer and start a new song. Okay, let's get rid of this. I want to check how is that tune. Different from this one. Oh, it seems to be the same. Right, so this one is newer. I'll be using the newer one. 3:25 p.m. and that one was 11:12 a.m. on same day, so that one is newer. So I have 5 tracks in the OST here. Have some ambient stuff. And I'm going to use all that to play the sounds. In the game. So it's going to be a good test if the soundtrack is fitting or not, and maybe we'll just get rid of this completely. Maybe we will do something like some games do when there are large periods of silence and music only kicks in once in a while. But now I'm thinking that we might want to have two separate systems for the soundtrack and for the rest of the sounds. And maybe even 3 different systems. So one system would let you change the settings and the volumes for the mixer groups. Then a few more systems would be handling playing of the sounds. But no, actually no. Actually, it would be better to just have what's up, Skipper? I'm working on audio today. So we'll have serialized field private audio clip array of soundtrack. But we need to figure out how to pass audio. Maybe we'll have to actually create a sound mixer here and make it independent from the rest of the hierarchy. How long have I been streaming? Today, 2 hours, 30 minutes. This can go. Oh, it's still open somewhere. Oh my god, I'll crash Unity again. Shit. I'm going to crash Unity again. Yeah, that's something that happens way too often. Way more often than I would like to. But at least we still have the sound mixer here. And basically nothing got lost. So I'm going to drag this. I cannot drag the whole OST folder, but I can lock this sound mixer and select these, move them here. And I also want to check the properties of those clips to make them a little, for example, load in background can happen. It's not going to be decompress on load. I should haven't pressed apply though, because now it's going to recompress them. Oh my god, why did I do this? It's going to be streaming. Vobris. Let's preserve the sample rate. I don't want this to butcher the sound. And the quality, let's keep it at 100 just to see if this makes any difference. Okay. Now we probably want, you know what I'm thinking, do we want a title track, something like the best of those tracks that would be playing when we open the game. I guess we want that. So let's say we have private int title music index, or title track. So on start, we will have to start playing the title track. How long until completion of the game or of the task? If you're talking about this task, maybe in a few days, but the game, I would guess a few years. So I'm going to do audio source dot play, and I'll give the title track soundtrack title track index. Oh no, that doesn't work that way. I have to set clip to this, and I'll have to do audio source play. And actually I need a ton of audio sources. I need the music audio source, right? Oh no. Audio source music, or just audio music. Then we will have audio we could just have an array here. Yeah. Let's make this dynamic so we can add more when necessary. So we are going to do mixer group names. How do we know which one is for the music then? I think we might need to have some constant here instead of mixer group names. We'll have public, private, const string, music, so we have to sort of figure out which one of those. That's why we need mixer group names. We need to find out the index of the music mixer group and then get it and play it. But isn't that a little bit of an overkill? But that's going to be an advantage when we're going to save and load the settings, because then audio source, everything is going to be just a part of array, and it's going to be easy to save and load. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's have separate mixers defined individually. So we'll have audio music. For the music audio source, we'll have audio ambience, audio effects, and audio UI. And actually, oh my god, this is not going to be that simple. We are going to have, like, for the ambience, we will, maybe even for the music, we'll have to have separate audio sources, because they are going to be competing with each other. Same for effects. For the audio UI, maybe just one source is enough, but effects, we will have multiple sources. Some of them will be busy. Are there free programming dev kit? What do you mean by free programming dev kit? Because for me, dev kit is something for console development. So it's basically a, for example, special version of Xbox that says dev kit on it. Something like this. This is a version of Xbox that is a dev kit. Alright, clips on track, title, clip, audio music, clip, title, clip, and audio music, play. All right. So now I have sound mixer here. We'll take title track, maybe let's use something like 2. And we don't have any audio sources here. I guess I'm going to create a oh my god, you know what, for all the stereo and all the things, I guess that audio sources will have to change their location from time to time. You're completely obvious towards game development, forgive ignorance. Well, I'm using Unity here, so it's Unity, C#, nothing else. Custom code on top of Unity. Okay, let's create. Actually, I think music could be just an audio source directly on output master. Why can't I choose the other mix? Oh, I lost my mixers. Fuck. They didn't save when Unity crashed. Oh my god, I hate this. Alright, let's have something here then. There's the master group. And we'll have music. Ambience. FX and UI. Okay, now we have to expose the volumes again. All right. Sound mixer, let's make the sound mixer part of the prefabs. Let's create a new folder for the sound. Put the sound mixer here. Open the prefab, and now we are going to build everything in here. Output is going to be the music. Play on weak, nope. Priority, volume, pitch, spatial blend. Don't need anything like that. Reverb, zone, mix. I think we need reverb. Bypass effects, all right. Great, so audio music is going to be this. So we hear the OST playing as we start the game, but what will happen if we move the camera? Yeah, it's absolutely not paying any attention to the position of the camera, because we do have, like, there's the game camera with audio listener, and if we show the gizmos, we should see where the camera is and the sound mixer is where exactly. I don't see the camera moving anywhere. Maybe we're not moving the camera at all? Are we moving just the game view? No, we are moving the camera. Position is changing. And sound mixer stays at 0. Yeah, we are moving the camera, definitely. So the sound mixer is here, the camera is here, and since the audio source here does not have the spatial blend. If we had the spatial blend, we would see that we would only hear the music if we manage to put the camera close to the sound mixer. So let's try that. Where's the sound mixer? 0, 0, and 0 out the camera. So let's put the camera to 0, 0. And now we hear the music. It's hard to get it right, but maybe if we zoom in a little bit more, it will work better. Oh, I can't zoom? Yeah, so there we go. So that's how audio works in Unity. And for the sound mixer, we need spatial blend to 2D fully for the soundtrack. But then we will need to have 3D spatial blend for other sounds. But for example, ambience is also going to be 2D, but the only thing that we will have to calculate for the ambience is the volume. So it's going to be more quiet as it goes distant from the camera, but it's not going to have any stereo effects or whatever, I think. What if we mix the ambience right now? Like, what if we play, let's have a source field, private, audio source, audio ambient. Oh, we do have this. No, but audio ambience is an array. Let's make it not an array. And let's, for start, let's just do audio ambience play, or even not audio ambience play. Let's just create this ambience. We're going to put audio source over here and the clip starship noise. No, let's not use the starship noise here directly. We're going to load this through the game. Mixer group will be ambience, spatial blend. All right, that's fine. Reverb, nope. Bypass effects, I guess no. And in the sound mixer, we are going to wire it here. So now, how about making this sound mixer play the clip that we load? Maybe let's just have something like public void play clip, or maybe play loop, or play ambience. Let's do play ambience and string clip ID. So what we'll just do, we'll take audio ambience and we set the clip to the sounds find clip ID. Then we do audio ambience loop true in case it's not set to that, and do audio ambience play like this. So let's see, we go to mod loader now and make this work step by step. So as we load this sound here, we are going to try, no, not as we load the sound, but maybe in the bootstrap right here after we init the services. We load available mods, we do post init, we create new game, maybe at the start of a new game, or even better, when we generate ship. So when we generate a ship, in the end we have a working ship, right? So why not do the so we now have to tell the mixer to play that ambience. How do we do that? We could use the signals. Yeah, we could use the signals. We don't want to grab the reference to the sound mixer, that's definite. We want to decouple it as much as possible. So the best way to decouple would be in this audio source component. But audio source, on the other hand, audio source is not background music. It's not background music. So basically, it could make sense to just do a signal. Let's create a signal.